And we'll put it up in Teams and the WhatsApp for our KvCore discussion group. So we can, the questions you guys have, the others will have. So let's start. How's everybody doing with the videos? Or what do you think of them, first of all?
I think they're good. I can't really see them very well. You know, everything's very small on my laptop. But my first question is, why would you get a smart number rather than using your own cell number?
And that's came up. A couple people have asked that same question. I believe the smart number, the advantage of a smart number versus using the one at KvCore, I think he explains fairly well, but
Yeah.
as long as that person is communicating with you through that smart number, it will always go to you. But if they call from a different number, or say they ask somebody else to give them, say they're driving, their spouse gives you a call on their cell number, it's a round robin. It'll go to the next day. So that, and I don't believe you can use your smart number, your cell number, or another number that will track the way KvCore's is set up.
That is correct. And that's one of the problems. That's one of the problems, Randy, is because, you know, a lot of us have business phone numbers that we pay for. And now KvCore wants us to pay for another one. Well, and I'm not sure that I did download the app. Let me check the app out, but it just seems like we should be able to customize that to our own phone number.
I don't think that your own phone number, I don't know. I'm not a tech guy enough to know that if you say text 123 to get this PDF or get this link, that it will work that way. I think
that's a function of design. That is strictly a function of design.
Right.
And it is really as easy as checking a box in the KvCore backend.
Okay. Well,
but we're not going to change that.
We're not going to change that. So you have the ability to either use the KvCore smart number or get your own. And you know, they're a business and it's an upsell. So it's up to you. I've used the smart number, and if I'm going to advertise a lot now in listing to leads, you can also get a number. What does KvCore, what do they charge?
$27 a month.
Okay, so listing to leads is 10. So you get a better deal at listing to leads. Listing to leads will do the same exact thing at $10 a month. So, but it is, if you're going to use text to and generate leads using a text number, you will want to use the KvCore. You can use your number in marketing. I don't think you can have the automated messages in PDFs. If that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else as far as just what you guys have watched so far, and any questions?
I thought the videos were pretty basic, and he really was really fast. So I've watched them a couple of different times, and then I've put them on like slow motion, or I've stopped them and gone into KvCore to try and emulate what he has done, which has been somewhat successful. But there's still a lot of, in KvCore, there's a lot of building the airplane while you are flying the airplane. And that's just, you know, a function, I guess, of working with that particular platform.
Right.
So for those of you who don't have tech backgrounds or software development backgrounds, there's a lot in KvCore that is customizable if you know how to customize it.
So here's the thing, and I think the idea is, one, it's just exposure so you know what KvCore will do, and then you pick and choose what you want to do. This certainly isn't an in-depth, but if there's something in these videos and one of the things, there's a couple things in there that I liked and will learn more on, and I'll spend more time on that. But you can also go to YouTube, and there is endless trainings in KvCore on YouTube. Sylvia Dana does in-depth YouTube training. So if you want to do anything in KvCore that you see in his training and want to know more, you can find in-depth training on in YouTube. I also feel that the KvCore chat in, you know, the little chat box in the KvCore, they're very resourceful as well. And I always just default to talk to a person. They'll give you, you know, they'll give you trainings, but I always talk to a person and get exactly what I want, but they're pretty quick to answer and they're pretty helpful. And so that's a great source. So really the idea of these videos and training is just exposure to, you know, what KvCore will do for you, and then customize what you want to, how you want to use it. But you need a CRM. You know, it's just vital to your business to be able to have your contacts in one place where you can communicate with them, drip on them, stay in communication with them. You can write blogs, you can write newsletters, you can create marketing material in all of KvCore. I think as far as the marketing and the lead generation, you're going to find that listing to leads is far superior.
Randy, I do think it's worth noting that the Sylvia system will customize KvCore for you.
Yes.
And I have them do that, and it was not that expensive. I think I only spent a couple of $100 on that.
Yes.
But that only goes so far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like putting up your website and.
What's that? The Sylvia system?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have sent you guys, when you first joined, a PDF. So Sylvia has a lot of free material, and really anything that you want to learn, she's put out there on a free video. She also does coaching and training and will do it for you. But I think step one is knowing what's available for you, and then you deciding what you want to use and what is important to you. Shannon is making for all of you squeeze pages so you can have some customizable marketing material. And he's also loading a smart campaign for buyers and one for sellers. And that's just a drip campaign to stay in front of those people. You can create your own. KvCore has a lot of them. I don't like them. You can go in and edit them. Again, that's a learning process. It's not, I think it's way more complicated than it needs to be. And I've told KvCore support that it just shouldn't be that hard. Seems to me complicated. I'm not a tech guy, but it's doable if you spend time in it. And then again, you can, thank you, Catherine. Catherine just put Sylvia's system in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
And again, go to her YouTube channel, Sylvia Dana. Most of everything she's doing is free.
She also has a Facebook page that I'll figure out what that page is.
And she is in Workplace.
And she's in Workplace.
And it used to be KvCore for Dummies. And then KvCore said, please don't use that term. Because she was just honest in it's complicated, it could be better. And in saying that, KvCore just got tired of hearing it. So it is now called CRM for Dummies in Workplace. And if you go into that group, it's all EXP agents using the KvCore. You can ask questions. You're going to get put in Shannon's Facebook mastermind group. So you can ask the questions with the people that are using his. So my hope in really this training is you're not going to master KvCore through these trainings, but you will get exposed what's available to you and kind of the steps on how to access it and how to use it. And then you'll just have to spend time in it. You know, you're just going to have to spend some time to learn it. And I'll help you. There's CRM for Dummies, that group in KvCore will help you. Thank you, Catherine. She just posted as well in chat, the Facebook group. Any other questions? I want to, Katie had a few questions that I know she's out showing homes, but let me kind of go through some of Katie's questions because others have asked these same questions. One of them was the smart number.
And I'm listening. I'm just getting ready to get out the door.
Okay, no problem. And you had asked, how does KvCore track the clients as far as if a client comes into your website or through your lead generation, and you can set up alerts for, does everybody know how to set up alerts for your clients in KvCore? I think that's one of the most valuable tools in KvCore is once you have your database set up and imported, which KvCore will do for you. If you don't know how or don't want to hassle with it, KvCore will import your contacts for you.
And Randy, may I add, I would strongly recommend that you have KvCore do that import because manually doing it yourself is incredibly tedious. That you have to map the fields and you have to, it's just very complicated. So they'll do it for you, have them do it.
They give you both ways to do that. Once you have your leads imported, you can set them up on alerts. And so that sends them, once you set up the alerts based on what their criteria is, it just every night, it goes through your multiple, scrapes those homes that match and sends it to them. And then you get to watch what they're looking at and see their activity. If they start looking at other homes or other areas, KvCore learns that and starts sending them homes in that area in that price range. But to answer your question, Katie, that is done through your EXP website. If you have your own website, it won't have, unless you can add IDX to your website, which is the multiple listing, you can do that. I don't know if KvCore will track it. You'd have to ask KvCore. I know there's probably a way, and you can certainly link your website, the EXP website, to your website, but that's a question to ask KvCore.
Okay, yeah, because we, have our own little family website, and I was thinking if I could.
Well, I think the
tracking from somewhere.
Yes, having your own website is fine, but if it doesn't have a search feature for them to go look at homes, then it won't track what they're doing. It'll give them information, but somehow you're going to want to tie and you might just have on your own personal website, search for homes. And when they click on it takes them to your EXP website.
Exactly. I was kind of thinking about that, or, I was thinking about could we program it to get that search function on?
You can.
And
you just have to add IDX to your website.
Okay. And then I guess the question I have and I don't know if it's Shannon or if it's for somebody else, like that does the programming, is can you program it to transfer the activity or to do both, So I think a lot of my questions are kind of exactly like how KvCore and some of our own things like phone numbers and websites and stuff and listing to leads works together. And I think this is such a great intro to kind of even just start thinking about it. Because I did a listing to leads, I'm helping with a different open house lately. And I put them up to listing to leads, and I got it posted to my LinkedIn. And, so I'm seeing how that works. Good. And so as I watched the videos, I was like, okay, so some of the listing to leads is going to be a lot, it's going to be where we go for lead generation.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just a matter of, like you said, like kind of looking and seeing where we're comfortable. And then probably also assessing the fees, right?
Yeah, I think, once you start using listing to leads, I think you'll probably use most of your marketing through listing to leads. But you need a way to manage that database. And that's where I think KvCore is really powerful. Oops. As far as there are some things in the CRM and some things, one of the things Shannon showed is when you're going to a listing presentation, you can show a kind of a funnel of your database of people who meet the criteria of whatever their house is. And then you can take that database and you can market your leads directly to them. And I think that's a really cool feature. And one, it's provided, you're paying for it. So you might as well at least know what KvCore is doing and can do for you. And I think there is a learning curve, but I think any CRM, there's going to be a learning curve. You had asked about the emails and the 10 email limitation, Katie. And that is, you can send videos, so you can text or email videos right inside of KvCore. And for those of you that are familiar with BombBomb, which is a service you can buy for texting and email videos, so they've incorporated BombBomb into KvCore. They give you 10 free videos a month for you to use. But so that limitation is only for videos. If you wanted to use more than 10 videos, then it's a subscription. Does that answer your question? So you're not limited on emails, you're limited on the videos that you create for emails.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I was like, 10 emails, that seems not very many.
No.
I mean, I'm doing most of my, just communication through my text and my own email, but it would be nice to understand a little bit how to do it through the app and through the system. I see my emails are uploading and then I just don't look at them on KvCore because I'm like, I see all the emails everywhere, So I'd like to kind of understand that a little bit more and just like how the functionality would works and then how the flow would work,
Yeah.
Randy, I just got the listing to lead login account information.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, good, good. Did anybody else get that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
just
good.
got mine too.
Oh, good. Well,
Me too.
Oh, good. So here's kind of the steps that, one, go play around with that. I think even better training, if you go to Listing to Leads YouTube, their training, one is how to set up Listing to Leads. It's like an hour, but they just did an 8 or 9 part series on how to make $250,000 a year using Listing to Leads. And then they just break it down in 9 different YouTube trainings on the different marketing aspects of Listing to Leads. And so again, every agent will use that differently, but there is some great marketing material in there. If you don't have a listing, there's a lot of things you can do in there that you can use for your database. And when Shannon comes on, we can ask and he will show us how he uses them together. So you can create leads and Listing to Leads, and then they will automatically import into KvCore. So you can have your database in KvCore.
Randy, is Shannon automatically linking our Listing to Leads to our KvCore?
No, we'll have to do it ourselves.
We do it manually?
Yeah. Well, there's an API. Yes, there's an API, and it will tell you how to do that. And again, if you go into the KvCore chat, they will help you as well. Or Listing to Leads. Listing to Leads customer support is incredible. I could not figure out how to, I forget now. I was doing Facebook leads and I wanted to retarget. So I needed to get the code so it would be able to retarget, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it. I had too many business pages over the years and I just couldn't. Anyways, so I told customer support that I needed help. And she literally says, hey, if you're comfortable giving me your username and password, I'll just do it for you. And so they're very, very helpful. And so the same thing, if you say, hey, I want to link Listing to Leads to KvCore, can you help me? They will. And again, write that down. When Shannon comes on, we'll ask him. So the idea, my thought was that Shannon's going to come on for 2 one-hour sessions. I would like to use it, one, for all of your questions on KvCore, but then and the reason I brought Shannon on is because I came across Listing to Leads and then found out later that he's a big proponent, and really the last video on our training is him using listing to leads and talking about listing to leads. So on that last video, you'll get a little bit exposure from him. But I thought we would have, you know, at least a big portion of his training on just how to leverage listing to leads and KvCore together.
I think I'd also, I don't know if it's a separate discussion or a discussion with him. I was noticing, you know, so when I was doing my listing to leads, it linked to my LinkedIn, but I didn't see that on the KvCore. And so I think just a discussion on, okay, if there's Facebook, LinkedIn, you know, I didn't see Instagram stuff on KvCore. And so I wonder if that's been added. And then, you know, how everybody's saying, like, younger generations are searching TikTok like Google. And I'm wondering if there's a, you know, if eventually there'll be a link, you know, some sort of interface with TikTok. And then, you know, when he was talking about Craigslist, I really had the question of, like, does anybody use that to search for houses anymore? I don't know. That was I remember, you know, we used it a long time ago.
You know what's funny? And Dawn had a great point on this. So just 2 weeks ago, I showed Max how to post. KvCore has, it's almost automatic. You just, once you set up, you have to use Chrome, but you just make one click and it posts KvCore or a Craigslist ad for you automatically. So I was showing Max how to do it, and I just used one of my listings and showed him how I do it. And within an hour, I had a lead. Not that it's always going to happen, and not that all you get is the phone number because you use the text number, but you will get leads from KvCore. And my best lead was I used somebody else's listing. It was in Hawkinson it was a nice area. And I just purposely picked price ranges that were higher. This guy emailed me and he says, man, I've been looking for so long. This home is perfect for me. I'd like to go look at it. So I talked to him. Long story short, it was a divorce and the couple couldn't, and they pulled the home off the market. This guy was ready. He was so excited. This from a Craigslist posting. So excited. When I called to make the appointment, the listing agent says, oh man, I think we're gonna have to pull this listing. He says, give me 1 day to see if they can come to an agreement. They didn't. They pulled the listing. And so this guy thought it was a scam on the other side, right? He's like, all right, I'm out, because he just thought I was trying to generate a lead on a listing that wasn't available. So he was so upset, but it was a legitimate lead. It was $700,000 home from Craigslist, which takes 30 seconds to do, and you will generate leads. Most of them will be bad leads, but
hey, a lead's a lead. And then if people are still, you know, using Craigslist, I guess I'm just thinking about, like, 20-year-olds to 80-year-olds, you know what I mean? It's like all the different platforms we have now, you know?
So I'm going to speak to that real quick. There are people so Katie, here's the thing. Yes, you're right. There's a lot of first-time home buyers that are coming into the market that are using the new platforms. There is a whole nother demographic. And I mean, probably just as many people that do not want to move forward with technology. And they're my age and older because I personally know that I have to get into it, but I struggle. If I can look at something that's quick and easy where I don't have to try to figure it out, I'm going to do that. And so I'm 54. So I'm just in that demographic and up where the less we have to hunt or figure it out, the better. And I'm telling you right now, those are the people that are selling their large homes and downsizing. Those are the people that are looking for property. Those are the people. So there's a whole demographic. It's really important to diversify. Just as much as I hear what you're saying with Craigslist, I have to figure out TikTok now because I don't want to. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to do it. Anybody else here?
Oh, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
see?
Melissa.
Me
I
too.
will
Do
not do
I have
it.
to dance? Is that like, do I have to dance with a hat of a house on my head or something?
I'll
No.
never dance. And I
What you
still
do is
sell
you get
plenty of
people on your
houses.
team that will do it for you. That's what you do, is you attract agents that are in that age group that will do the TikToks for you.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
what I'm
beauty of
doing.
exactly. That's good. So
But-
it's, I think diversifying is the most important thing you can do. I apologize for being late, guys.
no, that's fine.
No worries.
But I
important.
think that the people who are on TikTok, I don't think that they're that's the 20-some-year-olds. I mean, I think where you really want to focus is on Facebook and Instagram, because 35 and above, they're the ones that I feel that are doing most of the buying and selling, for sure. I don't think
I got
TikTok
a
is
lot of buyers in their 20s, a lot
Yeah.
in the Vancouver area.
I
That's
have
who
it
I'm
over
going
here.
to see right now.
I get a lot of retirees, a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
don't you live
retirees.
in, don't you live in
Southern Oregon.
retiree land, Ruth?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of wineries, and they
Nice.
love it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get a lot of retirees. And my first time home buyers they're not, I mean, they're in their late 20s, early 30s maybe, but they're definitely not TikTokers. They're working. They don't have time for TikTok. No, you know, they love Snap. They're really into Snapchat. That's a big one for the
Interesting.
young people, because my
Yeah.
kids are in their 20s. That's all they do. Instead of asking for someone's number, they'll say, do you want my Snap?
Yeah.
I mean, so I would think Snapchat more than TikTok.
And I think one, you just have to pick your lane, right? There's so many different ways to generate and build a real estate business. I just talked to an agent and tried to just encourage her to know that this was available to her. And she's like, yeah, I don't get any of my business through the internet. And, you know, this is only one way. This doesn't replace, it's not a magic bullet. One, the CRM is a way, however you get business, you need to enter them and have them in a database. So that's where the CRM comes in. The marketing, there's great ways to market to your database and keep in front of them, however you generate those leads. And then listening to leads, Craigslist, Facebook, Google, are just additional ways to keep adding to that database and keeping that pipeline full. And, you know, I honestly think, and, you know, I don't do it. If I was new in this business, I would absolutely learn YouTube, because it's free. There's just too many testimonials of agents that a year after they just decided to go ahead and do it. And when I say YouTube, they're doing 1 to 3 videos a month and getting business from it. In fact, I just spoke to the agent. I brought him on the call. You know, he's my age. He had no social media. His sponsor told him, you know, if I'm going to work with you, you have to do YouTube. And he's like, well, why would I do YouTube? You dominate my market. And he said, no, you will find your tribe. You will find people will be attracted and want to work with you. And in a year, he had 4 closings from YouTube. So it's free. It just takes time. So, and that's just one way, right? Janine just did an incredible networking event and brought leaders and business owners together in Hood River. And that will build referrals over time. And that's person to person, right? So you just have to pick your lane. This is not like this is a magic bullet to your business. I think you have to have a database to be able to communicate with your clients. And then listing to leads is just, I think, really whatever way you're growing your business, this will just add fuel to it and really help you add to that database.
Well, and I guess to what you were saying just about Craigslist, the fact that it's a 30-second 2-button push, like that helps us be able to not have to understand it that well, but be able to utilize it. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, was that Melissa? I'm sorry, I'm driving. But the more we diversify, you're right. And if something is already built in to where it's like click, click, hey, might as well use it, right?
And it's exposure, you know, especially if you have a listing, the more places you put it. I have agents call me that say, hey, my client saw your list or your ad on Craigslist. I can't find it. Well, it's because it went pending, right? But buyers will see that, they're looking, they're on the internet. You may not get the lead, but it's exposure for your listing. So if it's not your listing, well, you helped the listing agent that was nice enough to let you use the listing. I would really recommend, if you want to use this and you want to start generating leads, in KvCore, you can select all listings, meaning all the multiple. You can search by area, by price range, or you can search just your listings, or you can search just EXP listings. And then you can just text the agent and say, hey, I really love your listing. Do you mind if I share it on my social media? Most will say yes. Most will say yes. And so you have an unlimited amount of listings to market. Pick the area and the price range you want. Pick an agent that is workable with you. I have the agent that just called. The reason he called was he's having trouble getting people to his listing, and this is a Gresham listing, but he wants people to use his listing on their social media. So it's really easy to use other people's listings.
Is there a way, because I actually did that yesterday. I asked a broker out here who's with EXP if I can use her listing for marketing. Her concern is she wants to make sure it doesn't look like it's my listing.
Absolutely. And what I would say to that, and if you do it through KvCore, if you do it through Craigslist, I recorded a video on how to post to Craigslist where you're front and center, but you always do have to give credit, listed by, always. And you might even say in the text, do you mind if I use your listing as long as I give you credit and don't change it, right? But you
So
can,
what, like I'll put my name and my contact and then
absolutely,
put
right.
listed by
And then,
EXP Realty, or do I put her name?
you have to put her name. So,
Okay.
but you can move that in your text, your information can be there. And then at the bottom, it does need to say listed by in the company. So you do need to put their name. Yeah. And you need to let them know that you will do that. And that's a licensing law.
So
I have a listing in Battleground, and you all are welcome to use it.
Yes. Yeah,
We're trying to get it sold.
Yeah. And if you want to post that in the WhatsApp group or here, and share your listings that you want, to me, the life of me, I don't understand why somebody wouldn't want more exposure on their listings.
I agree.
You will get some agents that don't. That's a very small percentage. And so when you go through the listing to leads and you can see how you can use listings to generate leads. And Jessica, I've used this on some of my listings, and Jessica has been calling them. And Jessica, do you want to share a little bit just on the results of that?
Yeah, I've called most of your leads on listing to leads, and I think for every 10 calls, I've had at least 2 people answer and at least one who is interested, whether they were looking to refinance or purchase in the near future. So that was, I think those leads are really good. I think for KvCore, there were not as many good accurate phone numbers and people just putting random email addresses and stuff, but listing to leads was really good for me.
Good. And you're going to get leads where they're internet leads, right? You're going to get X that's mad at their X, right? And they put all their phone numbers in, and you're just going to get weird people, right? It's just part of it. But if you think, well, even if say a lead costs $7 a lead, whether it's a buyer or seller on it, $7 a lead, you go through 100 leads, you'll get a buyer or seller in 100 leads. You will. If you call and you just continue to drip on them and follow up with them, they will raise their hand when you're ready. You can, in KvCore, you can see if they're looking on their cell phone, you can see if they're looking on their desktop, and how many times they've looked at a property, and then you can just simply click on text and text them, say, I noticed you looked at this home. Or maybe you don't want to show that you're stalking them. You can just say, here's a home, I was thinking of you, thought this might interest you. Whatever
since I've been a broker, all my leads have been internet leads, because I was on an EXP team a few years ago where my team lead prepared me and said, you know what, Ruth, the future of real estate is going to be through internet leads, through technology, and that the old way of doing it, like the door knocking or the sphere of influence, is going to get smaller and smaller. So I would attribute a lot of my success. 95% of them have been internet leads that I converted. I currently, all of the listings I have right now have been from internet leads. So, it's not that hard. Really, it's just a matter of how you are with the person. If you're an extrovert, a good communicator, if you like talking to people, just be really comfortable and genuine is what I.
And I think really, you don't reach out to sell them anything. You reach out to help them, right? And answer their questions and be a resource for them. And the people that are ready and want help, and a number of them will have questions on, a lot of the times I ask them if they've been pre-qualified, have they talked to a lender? And, that's the next step is, you're helping them. You can get them pre-qualified, but it just starts a conversation. Part of KvCore, I think that is really, a lot of times they're not interested. Some of them are just looking, right? They need something that will spark their interest. And that's where the drip campaigns and the emails, where it just over a year, it just sends them automated emails. You'll want to go through them, the ones Shannon loads for you, and just make them, how you would talk or how it would be for you. But they're better than what KvCore, I think. KvCore's, I just didn't like.
I have
Shannon
two quick
has-
questions.
Yes,
Randy. Can I ask two quick questions?
Yeah.
I just lost the one because it's one I've been thinking about but forgot to write down. But on KvCore, it's just more KvCore instead of listing the leads. But does everybody here use a smart number? Because that is one thing that in going through the training for KvCore twice now, I just don't want to keep spending $25 here, $27 here, $30 there. I feel like I'm spending like $500 on just little things all over the board.
Get it. KvCore, so listing to leads has a smart number you can use too, and I think it's 10.
Okay.
So,
do people here use those?
I have, when I was doing a lot of advertising, I did, because I didn't want to lose that lead to somebody else if I was paying for the lead. So I did use a smart number. I stopped because I just stopped doing leads. But if I was going to do a lot where it has text too, then I would have a smart number. I prefer just using the Facebook ads because it gets when they click on it, it's whatever they've registered Facebook for, right? So that's usually their best email, and the legitimate ones will keep their phone number that's tied to Facebook. You can go in and you will get people that have changed it and it's not accurate, but that's just part of 1 out of 100. But yeah, and I think you can do better. And just in my database, I can show more than I want to admit of text or emails. Hey, you can take me off your list. I just bought a home.
Okay. I do remember the other question. And then when in KvCore, because we just went through the training and kind of relearned it, all mine, when they imported as a prospect. Does anybody know if there's a way to go back in and get those back to Sphere for the most part? And then I can go in and individually change all of my people I've worked with in the last year since I've been back.
Melissa, that's a function of the import, and you would have to change the field before the import.
I do believe there's a way to.
Because
you can
like 300 people.
I would ask support exactly that question.
Okay.
Because they will give you the steps. I think there is. I know you can change and manage hashtags, which makes me think that you could probably change.
Okay, thank you.
That I would ask support.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my old clients, I was able to change them from a buyer to, or seller to buyer as well on KvCore. But Catherine is right. When you do the CSV import, you have to they'll categorize them individually before you import them. So that way it reads up on there on KvCore automatically. But otherwise, if they've been on there already, you can go back into that profile, and then change up their status.
Yeah, I saw that. I just was wondering if there's a way to take 300 people and make it a little quicker.
Yes, I understand that, Melissa.
Melissa, I just did it. You go to your CRM in KvCore, and at the very top, there's a box next to first name. You click that, and that selects all of your contacts.
Okay, good.
And then you go to more actions. And then you go to change status.
Awesome. Thank
Then
you.
you change your status and it'll change all of them at once.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Look, we have KvCore training right here.
Okay,
Randy's
I
that-
love that. That's
the
why I
whole-
love this.
That's the, me too. That's the whole idea of this, is for you guys, all of us to help each other. And
which on that note, I have to hop.
okay, well, thank you, Catherine, for
Thank
your
you.
input, and
Have a good day, everyone.
you too. Have a great weekend. And so we will do this with listening to leads too. Go play around with that. It sounds like you guys are starting to get your login for that, but I would first at least understand your contact manager with KvCore and what it can do. One of the things Shannon has added is his listing presentation. And that listing presentation, it's editable for you. When I first joined, just at the time I joined, Glenn Sanford did a contest to everybody at EXP. And at the time there was probably 25,000 agents. It was half of what it is, or a third maybe. Anyways, he did a contest and he's like $5,000 to the winner, post your listings, vote on your listings. The winner gets $5 grand. And was so enticed everybody to post their listings, and Shannon's won. And so Shannon has posted that listing presentation. Take a look at it at least by the second time we have Shannon on. So if you guys want to ask questions regarding that listing presentation, he will be available to us. And I'll leave that up to you guys as a group. I want to maximize Shannon's time when you guys are ready. And then we'll just set up an appointment with him and bring him on, at least for the first hour. And then just, this is available to the people you want to recruit and bring in and attract to EXP. And one is, I want to help you guys be able to maximize your business. The other thing is, I think it's an added value that you can say, you know, we give KvCore training, we help you get it set up, and then we provide, you know, a lead generation tool for you. So just know that this is available to them. We'll plug them in if you want to attract agents. And with that, is there any other questions? We're good? Good.
So when's our next, when's the
Well,
listing to leads?
You know, I think I kind of want to wrap up just the learning curve of KvCore. And if you guys feel you're good with that, you know, and maybe we can just keep doing these on Friday mornings, you know, until maybe forever. Maybe we can just keep helping each other just in lead generation on Friday mornings. I'll just keep this time open so we can, I'm always available. If you know, you can book time on my calendar anytime to work one-on-one, but I think there's great value as coming together as a group, because, you know, a lot of the questions are the same and you can help each other. Gina just shared a listing. So you can take that listing, use that listing. If you're set up in listening to leads, use that listing and just try it. It actually has, it's so automated. Listening to leads is really easier to use. And their training is phenomenal, but really it's just a click to say, is this your listing or somebody else's? And then they take care of the rest. All right, you guys, you have a great weekend.
One more question real quick.
please.
Can we use listing to leads for commercial listings also?
You know, I think that's probably a question.
assume so.
I would assume you can use it for any listing.
Okay.
I know it's geared to residential, but
Mhm.
I don't see why you couldn't use their platform and technology for any listing. Right.
Okay.
You can certainly use their marketing material, and they have a lot of marketing material.
Okay.
Last question really quick, and I'm embarrassed to ask it, but I'm going to because I don't care. Gina, what you just sent us, please tell me, is that a landing page or a squeeze page?
That's a great question because I don't know what a squeeze page is.
I'll always ask the embarrassing questions, don't worry.
Good job.
You're
So,
on mute.
well, I am?
Gina is.
Okay. So I think what Gina has here is just her listing.
There, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's just a link to my website listing, the listing on my website.
So do you, in order to do what you just did, do you just pull up your listing and then copy and paste the link? Okay, okay. Because I think that's also what happens when you make a squeeze page. I could be wrong. This is what I'm learning.
Yeah.
Because it looks the same. That's why I was asking.
So a squeeze page I think you have to, it's a lead generation where this is as well, because
Okay,
this will as well, because KvCore's default, I think after you look at 2 photos, they ask you to register.
okay,
You
Okay.
can change that in KvCore, however
Okay.
many photos you want, but I think that's the difference. And again, Shannon's gonna load up some squeeze pages that have converted for him, for you
Okay.
guys in your KvCore.
awesome. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
you're welcome.
No more.
No worries. And then just on that, any subject, that question, if you were to go into YouTube, type that and put in KvCore, creating a squeeze page, or difference between squeeze page and landing page. And I think Shannon touches a little bit on that, but they will be in depth on how to create a squeeze page and why you want to do a squeeze page over a landing page.
Okay, awesome.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, have a great week.
Thank
Great
you,
weekend.
Randy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.